they are, and just take literally one step at a time. To me, it feels like we're dealing with loss here too, and I want you to know that you are cared for, loved and protected by people on the other side, and not alone through this period in your life. And it's just, you just have to take this literally one day at a time, one step at a time. I'd be seeking local counselling resources near to you as much as you can, and if you can be in some kind of a meditation group that can help give you, I guess, the moral support as well. I think that would be a really kind of important aspect to be looking at as well. So I just sort of want you to reach out to those kinds of resources just to help you with the different things going on here. But I do feel that over the next number of months, particularly 6 to 8, I feel like there's going to be a shift in your energy here, that makes it a little bit easier to deal with the day-to-day things, and particularly, a bit more freedom of movement, a bit more sort of feeling as if some of this pressure is being lifted off you. I do feel there's still things to be dealt with there on a financial level, but it's like you're going to be able to consolidate a lot of that and bring it under control. But it's literally at the moment just taking one step at a time is the important thing. I think also working out which battles to take on, and choosing those wisely is very important. And that's why the lists and prioritising things can help you deal with stuff right now, rather than trying to tackle everything at once, because it's just too immense otherwise. Does that make sense to you?
Yes.
Yeah, you've just got to really just, pull this out one thing at a time. I prioritise what you can do today. You're worrying about everything, not just the things you can do, but you're worrying about the things you can't fix, you can't do. And the thing is, you don't have the energy to be worried about the things you can't fix and can't do, because, they're kind of already not going to work. So it's sort of like you have to be able to just deal with the things, and this is why I'm writing out the list. It's like writing out the list of the things you need to sort out and focusing on them. It brings you more into the present moment, and it actually, in a way you can sort of be calling out to the universe and going, hey, look, could you bring me some help with this? I'm open to receiving help with this. With where I am in my life right now, I'm open to receiving that. And then you go about the work of that, and then the universe will start responding and bringing you people, I feel. But yeah, it's going to be through both methodical, practical, rational, looking at things and consolidating things, that gets a lot of this under control. But also, once you're starting to do that, while just keeping open to receiving help, from others, I do feel the right people are going to start coming right on in. So I hope that assists you with a bit of a couple of steps forward. Does that make sense to you?
Yes, it does.
Yeah, feel free to get in touch once again. You can contact me through the website. You can also find me on Facebook if you need to, just if there's any clarification from what I've said. So I hope that helps you today, Michelle. I'll be sending you a lot of love and healing after the show as well. Now, Jojo has also written back. She was 8 months old. He blamed me because of my guilt. I would love a reading for my future. Jojo, with you as well, it's interesting. We sort of had this thing about relationships today, and there's a lot going on there. With you, with this situation, it just comes back to that thing of having to really distance yourself from those who are placing unfair projections on you. That's the most important thing. That will actually help you step forward in your life with where you're going. I do feel that you've been working a lot on getting to quieten your mind a lot more, getting to find your calm, to find purpose in things, and you've been kind of just, okay, this is the next step, this is the next step, this is the next step. A bit like what Michelle's having to do right now. She's having to sort of find the steps and start taking them. You've already done a lot of these steps, and so it's putting you in the right place. And I do feel when I'm looking at your future, it actually feels very light and clear to me. There's not a lot of obstructions there that there were in the past, and a lot of those obstructions in the past really had to do with the lessons you were learning and the experiences you were going through karmically. That is already, you're already on the right path now, and it's just important to just keep going along that way. I could certainly do a more detailed reading for you at a later stage, but that's what I can do at this stage, from the perspective of what I've sort of seen here here. So I do really wish you the absolute best there, Jojo, and everyone else who's been writing in. Sorry I couldn't answer everyone today or take all of the calls today as well. We can only do so many calls per show because we're also dealing with, kind of looking at different issues as well. So certainly I'll be sending healing, love and light to anyone and everyone who's been watching, tuning in, listening or writing, after this show. And certainly after my show, there'll be another number of shows this evening where there'll be other psychics on air willing to take your calls, and looking forward to hearing from you. In the meantime, I'm going to be signing on out, and I'll be back same bat time, same bat channel next week. But in the meantime, if you want to get in touch, you can find me on Soulstar Radio through Facebook. You can also find me on the website, which is soulstar.media. I do both unpaid readings where we're doing them on air for free for you on A1R, and I also do paid readings privately. So if you're sort of a bit shy, don't want to have reading on air, I can always do that for you privately over the net, over the phone or face-to-face, just so that you know how that all works and where it all is. In the meantime, I'm going to be sending you lots of healing, love and light, and going to wish you the very best for this weekend, and certainly God bless America and God bless the world. Lots of love. In the meantime, let's get singing. If you're happy and you know it, clap your hands. If you're happy and you know it, clap your hands. If you're happy and you know it, then you really ought to show it. If you're happy and you know it, clap your hands.
To the Ask Rebecca radio show. Thanks so much for joining me tonight. I hope everyone had a great week. As I predicted last week, I did see lots of that volatile energy I was talking about, along with people arguing, some outbursts. I also saw a couple of things about explosions in the news. Lots of intense things happening worldwide. I even caught myself a few times last week having some outbursts toward fellow drivers on the road. And just to get it off my chest a little bit more here, if you're in the left lane cruising along and you have a line of traffic piled up behind you and people flying past you in the right lane to get in front of you, you know, suck up your pride and suck up your I'm doing the speed limit attitude. Okay, that's great. Do the speed limit in the middle of the right lane, okay? And just get out of the way. That's all I'm saying. Or get off your cell phone, because that's the other problem. Be courteous and be aware of your surroundings. All right, moving on, since I got that out of the way. Let's get into tonight's predictions for this week, which run from tonight through to next Thursday, May 3rd. These are general predictions for everyone in areas of work, love, finances, health, and spirituality. If you're interested in personalized monthly predictions or any other services that I offer, you can go to my website, askrebecca.guru, and check it out. So the general themes for this week, one of them is I feel like I have to do with blessings, so small and large ones. I feel many of you will start to see some positive things manifest in your life this week, and even any challenges that arise have blessings attached to them. So it's going to be important to keep a higher perspective and see the blessings in everything. I also feel like some of you will get some signs of blessings to come. So if you're not fully experiencing the blessing yet, you're going to get signs, and I feel like some of those signs will be through birds and feathers. Don't ask me why, but for some reason, birds and feathers were coming to mind, and possibly even a white peacock. So I don't know, or a white bird of some sort. This week will also be about more change. So yay! I know how much everybody loves change. One of our favorite experiences. So anyway, change is coming. There's no reason to fear it. And it always brings new experiences and takes us to new places. So look back at your life from birth to now. It's changed multiple times. You know, sometimes maybe it felt like a bad thing or started out a bit rough, but turned out to be a good thing. You know, you're typically always moving forward, and you're the issues that come up for you. Now, you know, the more that you resist, the more difficult change will be. And the more that you accept and enjoy the process and have a positive attitude about it, the easier it will be. Along with this change is another week of intense energies. You could feel like your nerves are fried. You could just feel physically uncomfortable, you know, possibly even anxious. You could feel vulnerable, raw, and exposed. You could also become dehydrated very quickly this week, so drink lots of water, take baths, showers, or jump in the ocean. Water is very, very cleansing, and for some reason, I also feel like water will be playing a big role this week in many different ways. Some areas I feel like will get lots of rain. Other areas will be really dry and in need of water. Either way, water is playing a role in everybody's life some way, somehow. So we'll see how it plays out for each of us. As you become more whole within yourself this week, you could start feeling more connected to everyone and everything. More of you will be awakening to the fact that you're all a part of something bigger than yourself. And the best way that I can explain it is like you're a drop of water from the ocean. Well, that drop, it becomes a drop. It's a piece or an individual, if you will, but it's still part of the ocean. And if you put the drop back into the ocean, it becomes one with the ocean again. So you are a drop of energy, whatever you want to call it, that belongs to the original source. So as are the rest of the souls on this planet. And this week, you can see some unity in action. I feel like it's going to show up in many different ways. I feel like, you know, you'll be seeing people helping other people in need, helping other people, helping others through crisis moments. I just feel like it will be actions big and small. So either way, you'll just see of things. And I also feel like you'll no longer see things through the lens of us versus them, if that makes sense. So, you know, and I feel like a lot of you don't have that us versus them thing, but you do have some other little things that might need some looking at or tweaking, where you're accepting of people, but maybe you're not accepting of certain situations, or because we get sucked into this false illusion of drama that the powers to be create to keep us distracted from finding out about the truth of what really is going on in this world. I feel like it's only going to hurt all of us in the end. So it keeps the cycle of separation going, and it keeps us from uniting to get the greedy oligarchs who run this world gone for good. So unplug from the matrix, people. Unplug from the matrix is what I'm trying to say here. All right. So this week, for some of your inner saboteur is going to pop up. So you're going to try to stir up some drama, just for some excitement or because you're afraid. Either way, don't. You may have someone younger than yourself creating drama, and for some of you, it will be someone all up in your business. So I feel like there could be people that are going to be butting their nose into your life, and maybe you're the one that's going to be being nosy, or maybe it'll be a combination. So just, again, you know, try to unplug from the drama. Let's see. Then there's some of you that have tedious work to get accomplished this week. I just feel like you just have so much stuff to do and things that you need to get accomplished that you're not really in the mood to accomplish. But I do feel like with this energy, you will get the focus that you need, the strength and the will to get it done. So the energy will be good for it, even though you'll partly be like, I don't want to work. For those of you employed, some of you have more work than you can get done this week. Some of you will be feeling overwhelmed and unexcited about work. If you need help, ask for it. Others that are better able to handle this kind of pace, I think, to me, it just feels like business as usual. You're used to kind of like going hard, multitasking, having multiple things on your plate. So for you, it's really kind of like same old. For some of you, I feel like conflict at work could arise. So, you know, just be careful. Everybody just be mindful of what emotions are coming up within yourselves, so you're not emotionally reacting to things and getting into an argument at work. And I also feel like there's a possibility that some of you will be receiving a message that you weren't really expecting at work, and it doesn't really feel like it's something negative. So, you know, it just may be something that hits you, you know, out of the blue. Work, for those of you looking for a job, overall the energies are good this week for applying for jobs. I do feel a few of you may be dealing with extensive background checks for new work that you might be starting soon or applying to or will get hired at. So there's a few of you that are going to be going through that. And it kind of feels like government type position jobs, maybe a police officer, maybe fire department, you know, different things where you're really going to have to get your background checked. Love, for those of you in committed relationships, I feel like some of you are bored this week in your relationships. Definitely deserves a conversation and some action to get this resolved. Now, the energy is a little bit conflicting because communication is going to actually be a little bit difficult this week. So just make sure you say what you mean and mean what you say, if you know what I mean, right? So like, just make sure you're communicating clearly. I also feel like some of you will actually need to look at the deeper meaning behind the words to fully understand your partner this week. Those of you looking for love, some of you have been out and about but can't seem to meet someone. I just feel like, to me, it sounds like the way I was getting it, it just kind of felt like you weren't completely past someone from your old relationship. Like an old relationship from your past is something where you're still holding on to either or maybe just you're still hung up on the hurt of the relationship. So I feel like you need to do the work this week so that you can let that go. It can't really hurt to give this person, and really, I feel like you should go out on multiple dates because people aren't feeling comfortable until they're a couple of dates in and get to know you a little bit better. That's when the walls come down, the guard comes down. Invest, don't spend. It's not a good week to gamble, and if you aren't being fairly compensated, then it's time to reevaluate your job situation. And I do feel like some of you may receive a message about finances that you're not thrilled about, but it could be a mistake, and it turns out everything's okay. And if the message is accurate, well, it doesn't feel like it's a, really bad message or anything like that. I mean, it may not be good, but it's not the end of the world either. Health, some of you have neglected emotional issues that you've been suppressing. Well, this week it could manifest in some sort of illness, like aches, head cold, or maybe even something more severe. It all depends on how much and how long you've been neglecting your emotional well-being. I also feel like it's important to mention to seek second opinions, especially for invasive procedures that your doctor may be recommending. So if that resonates with any of you, I definitely feel like you should get another opinion. It certainly can't hurt. Spirituality, try new things, especially if you're bored or feeling stuck. Figure out what interests you and what you enjoy. And I feel like hang out with upbeat, spiritually aware people to help give you a little extra pep in your step. And those of you seeing gurus or chasing the elusive guru, I just feel like be cautious of egotistical spiritual advisors. They do exist. So just be cautious and remember, trust yourself. Listen to your own intuition. Listen to your higher self and listen with what resonates within you. Like, the only person that's going to know is you, not somebody else. All right, so that covers this week's prediction. So let's go ahead and take tonight's caller, which is Heather from Wilkes-Barre, Pennsylvania. Hi, how are you?
I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm doing really good. So how can I help you tonight?
I need direction on if there's a job that I have right now is going to be a good fit to me. And I have soaps I'm trying to sell, but it's taken a little while to get them off and running. I wanted to do this for a long time, and I finally got, after all the bumps have been out of the road, I'm trying to get my soaps out there. Where I'm at, where I'm going, what path am I taking?
Okay, you have your own business, right? Well, you have you do both.
No.
Are you working?
Hello?
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, sorry. So the first part of your question is the job that you have right now, is that a good fit for you?
Yes.
Okay, so did you just start this job?
It will be starting on Monday.
Oh, you're starting on Monday. Okay, that's what I felt like it was a new job. I do feel like it will be a good fit for you, and I do feel like it's going to help you. Like, I feel like you're in a cycle of, you're heading into a positive cycle. Like, you're just coming off of a cycle where things have been kind of tight, things have been challenging, like you've really been going through a purging process. But right now, I just feel like there's a turn for the better, especially in regards to money. I do feel, too, like there's generosity headed your way, not just like financially, but, there's other things that people are going to like offer you. And I just keep getting that, make sure that you accept whatever assistance comes to you and not to be too proud.
Right.
The work, I think you're going to enjoy it. Like, I feel like you're super nervous.
Oh, yeah. It's a lot's been going on. I'm just trying to, like, find where I'm at, find my balance, my center, what I'm happy with, and be fully engaged in that.
You will. You will. I think you're going to fit in just fine. You just have to relax, because I just feel like you're super nervous and like anxious. But I feel like you're going to fit in just fine. And I don't feel like I feel like it's a job that you've done similar things. So it's not like you're going in and you're completely learning something from scratch. Like, I feel like it's an office environment, right?
It is in an office. I have to check in every day. But it's something I'm familiar with because I've done it before, and so I'm back there now, and I had experience in the past. So I just like, you know what, I'm giving this another try, and I got accepted right through. I had to go through paperwork, but I was able to get in. So I'm like, okay, you know what, I'm familiar with this. I've done this before. I know where I'm going now, so I'm going to really put my whole heart into it now.
What kind of, you broke up a little bit, what kind of, what are you putting your heart in completely?
It's taking care of someone else. It's the home health.
Oh, gotcha. Okay, so you're doing like traveling, you're going to someone's home and helping take care of them and their needs, right? Is that what I'm understanding?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you're going to be fine. You'll be fine. Like, I think last time you did it, I feel like it was challenging because I feel like you got too emotionally involved and you were just getting too overwhelmed with having to be responsible for someone else. But I think you're in a better place now, so it'll be much easier.
Yeah, I know what to expect now. So I'm like, okay, my soul's ready for this. I'm like, you know what? Let's make this work. Let me be compassionate. Let me be more sincere to the other person's needs.
Yes, and I think that's going to work out in your favor. And I feel like the people that you're going to take care of, they're really going to, like, I just feel a lot of love there. And I feel like they are really, like, I feel like it's going to be a reciprocal relationship. I feel like you're going to learn and gain from the experience with them just as much as they're going to gain from you.
Right.
You know, and I know it's hard work, but I do feel like your attitude is in the right place. Like, you're helping heal people. Like, you're loving people that don't have somebody else to love them in some way.
Right.
And it kind of feels like your own business. Like, I feel like you have kind of the freedom. I know you have to check into an office, but I feel like you're kind of free. Like, then you go to wherever you're going, you take care of them, and then you move on to someone else? Like, are you just going or do you stay? Because I feel like you're traveling more.
That's what I'm going to be doing. I'm going to the office to check in and explaining what I do with the client every day, and doing that is an office setting. And it's like a very warm, inviting area. And I'm like, you know what? I went there before and I wasn't accepted, and now things have changed over. And there's a new person running it. So I'm like, okay, I'm in. So I'm like, it wasn't the right time. Now it is. I was like, okay, I know where I'm going. I know where I'm at. I know what to do. I know the protocol. So I'm like, okay, that was setting the stage. I'm like, okay, I can understand this now. I'm going to put my whole heart into this.
Good. I think you have the right attitude. I mean, I feel like it's going to be a positive experience. I mean, you know, I'm sure there's going to be challenges that arise, but I feel like you need to make sure that you keep yourself grounded, because sometimes you get too connected. You get emotional very quickly, and then because you want to please, right? And then if you feel like you made a mistake or you can't do something or you're not doing it right, then you get yourself worked up. Like, you're your own worst critic, right? Then you're like, you start beating yourself up. Yeah, and I feel like that's where, you know, that's the only red flag, is to make sure that if something happens, you don't beat yourself up and you don't freak out, because everything, there's a solution for everything. is what I keep getting. Like, you know what I mean? You'll be able to find a solution. So you're going to do just fine. Just believe in yourself. And I think you're just going to see the rewards and the interaction. I do feel like there might be one difficult, like, patient that you have to take care of.
Okay.
So just
my other thing. Go ahead.
Yes, I was just gonna say the difficulty just kind of feels like a grumpy old, a grumpy person that just, they're sick, they're not happy, they're not feeling good, and they're not really in that energy of positivity. So this is where you're going to bring light into the situation, right? And just make sure that you mentally keep yourself knowing that like this person is not just being grouchy to be mean to you because of you, right? Like it's just their nature.
Right.
Okay. What else?
Now, is my one last question before you have to go, or maybe two, if I can get in. The soaps, is it going to be? I'm more to take any risk. Is it going to be a hit or is it going to be a miss? Or am I just wasting my time trying to get them out there?
Okay, I'm going to have you repeat that. I'm sorry.
My soap. I've been had this idea in my head for a long time, and I'm just wondering if I'm just doing it because someone else is doing something. Is it just going to be a waste of my time? And if it is, I'll just move on from there. But is there any possibility of it being successful?
Is this where I was asking you about having your own business?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Yeah. I feel like you should pursue that.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, to me, I don't feel like you're doing it because someone else is doing it. I feel like you're doing it, you want to do it because you're passionate about it and it makes your heart sing. And I feel like if you can make sure that you stay balanced, the job that you have now will help financially fund what you want to do on the business side of things. And, I mean, look, we're all connected. So, I'm not the only one that does this. Like we have a bunch of other amazing psychics on this station that do what I do. And we all just do it in our own way. And we all just bring our own creativity to it, our own personality to it. And that's how you need to look at it, right? You're going to reach people that this other person isn't going to reach. Right? We all have our own tribe. We all have the people that we're here to affect change with. So I think that's how you kind of need to look at it, right? It's not a competition, right? Definitely don't look at it from that perspective because that will just lead you down the wrong path.
Everybody has their own time.
Everybody what?
Has their own time when things happen.
Yes. Oh, absolutely. I mean, look, I didn't come out of the closet and start doing this until I turned 40. That's when I decided I was going to go and try and do my own business and start honoring who I am instead of, doing this just with friends. And so, yeah, it's never too late. Just go for it. Just go for it. You got this. Take your time. You just have to believe in yourself and just take baby action steps towards the goal. And I do feel like you'll be successful. It's going to take a little work.
Just be open-minded.
And it's going to evolve and change. So, just let it be limitless. So we have 2 minutes if you want to squeeze in your last question.
Who is the person coming into my life that I haven't seen yet?
Okay, so I actually felt, and I'm going to make this really quickly because I only have 90 seconds, but I felt like you are going to meet someone through an introduction from someone that you already know, but I don't feel like you already know the person that's going to make the introduction because you haven't started the job yet. I feel like it's going to be connected through your new work. So make sure you're letting everybody know that you're waiting to meet someone. Okay? Like, don't be afraid to
be prepared.
Yeah. Just be like, hey, I'm single and I'm ready to mingle and get out there and have a good time. Let everybody know, because it's going to be somebody through your network that's going to connect you to this person. And to me, really quickly, 30 seconds, I want to say we're looking at late summer, like, I don't know. It's going to be somewhere between June and September. Thank you for calling in. I hope everybody has a great week. Thanks again for tuning in, everyone, and I will see you next week. I look forward to connecting with you then. Bye.
Good evening. Welcome to Your Time to Shine with your hosts, Darlene and Julie.
Your Time to Shine is a radio show designed to help you explore your own divine gifts.
Yay, what a great exploration that is. It's so fun to dive into the gifts that we've been given. Tonight, Julie and I have a really fun topic, but not everybody sees it as fun because it can be challenging for a lot of people. It's when empaths and highly sensitive folks go to places and are overwhelmed by the energy that is in a room or in a space that they go to. And sometimes we don't have the choice not to go. Sometimes that could be our work environment. So Julie and I tonight are going to talk about some fun and unique tools for you to when you're in these situations. So Julie, do you want to start with a couple of the ones that you share with your clients and the ones you use?
Yeah, absolutely. Just to kind of follow up on that, highly intuitive people are usually pretty sensitive. We call them empaths. And what happens is they pick up on energies that are not always your own. So, you could be feeling really depressed or upset. Maybe you woke up in the morning and you were crying and you're like, what is going on with me? It could just be that you're feeling the weight of the world, that you're feeling the weight of something that's going on in your life, or you're feeling somebody else's energy. So one of the things that I like to start with, and Darlene, you're really great at this, and it's one of your really great tools. And Darlene even has to remind me, whose is this? So if you're feeling, really anxious or anything, ask, is this mine? Is this my energy? Is this anxiety mine? And if it starts to lift or it feels light, it's not yours. So you return to sender and you get rid of it. Something else that, I like to do is, or I've had people do, is sometimes you just literally have to remove yourself from the situation. If things are getting to be too much, you may just have to excuse yourself and leave the room and go outside. That's like the biggest thing. Go outside and find a space that you can be outside. If you can't be outside due to the weather or whatever, then find a quiet space that you can go to. Maybe you're at work. Maybe you can find a conference room to sneak into for 5 minutes and close your eyes and take some really deep breaths. Taking really deep breaths, holding them, and then letting them out really hard, like you're trying to blow up a balloon. That will help kind of release some of that energy as well. So, Darlene, what are some of yours that you like to use?
Oh, One of my favorite ones is like going into a big room, and if I'm hearing people talking, and sometimes what it is, it's not always the energy that turns me off. Sometimes it's what they're saying that constricts me, and I just want to go run and hide. We're all very sensitive to the words people say, not just the energies. So what I do, so I don't overreact with conversations, or if, people are saying something that I don't like, I think to myself, interesting point of view. So that's a tool from Access Consciousness, healing modality that's out there. And so sometimes with empaths or highly sensitive people, just by us being given that label or calling ourselves that, we're already expecting something to happen when we go into a big room. Sometimes it might not, but if we're already expecting it to happen, we'll create it. So what I do to prepare myself for an event, where there'll be lots of people or big spaces, I will plan on saying, when I hear things that I don't necessarily care for or agree with, interesting point of view. They have that point of view. So I make it, rather than being, I'm an empath and highly sensitive and I have to go into this room where there's so many people. And so rather than making it heavy and a chore and something I don't want to do, I prepare myself by thinking, how can I make this fun? What can be fun about this situation? Maybe I don't want to be there, and there might be other things I'd rather be doing, something more fun. But how about you go somewhere where you're expecting something to happen, and instead you expect fun. So put aside perhaps that label of empath, put aside the idea that you're highly sensitive and you have to go to the grocery store where there's lots of people, or a meeting where there's people you don't necessarily care for. Walk in there already thinking, I'm going to have fun with this. And when people start saying things that you don't agree with, interesting point of view. They have that point of view. So you're less than likely to get triggered and want to contract and run out of the room. That's always fun because, we find ourselves in these situations that we would prefer not to be in, but sometimes in life it happens. So why not make it fun whenever we can?
Yeah, that's a great suggestion. The interesting point of view, and that's one I always forget for some reason. It never clicks with me, but I do love that one. It's a great one. It's a great tool because also what it does is it kind of lifts it, and something that can be kind of icky and sticky. When you say that, it kind of catches people off guard a little bit. And it raises the vibration, right?
Oh my gosh. So there's two ways you can use it. You can either say it to yourself in your head, or you can say it to them. And it totally takes people aback. I normally am one of the people that will just say it quietly in my own head. But when I have said it out loud, people just kind of look at me. It's not something you would hear normally. Interesting point of view you have. And it's not something you're going to find out there on other websites that talk about or give you tools as far as for people being empaths. This is totally something extremely unique. And it's more fun to me than to protect myself and put myself in bubbles and shield myself from the world. And I'll tell you a huge reason for that is when we're bubbling ourselves and shielding ourselves from those energies that we don't want to be affected by, we're also blocking out the good stuff. Even if we say, what's ever for my highest good, if you're putting up those barriers and you're putting up those shields, you're going to be blocking some good stuff. And I've experienced playing both sides of using the shielding, which was my old training that I had as a psychic and intuitive. And now since I've been playing with the Access Consciousness tools, they're much more lighter.
Not way off.
Oh, okay. Because I got 12 to 18 months. So have you been thinking about this for 12 to 18 months?
Oh, did you say 12 months?
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be like probably when things start to go into motion.
Okay, because I feel like at 18 months, it's when it's going to really hit, like when it's going to come through. Because I got the 12 to 18 months around it.
Okay. Now, I have my own business. I did elderly care, went into the home and did medical work.
Yes.
And do you see me getting back to that? Because I had gotten hurt pretty bad, and I'm recovered from that now.
I don't feel like it's going to be, I don't feel like it's going to be that. I feel like it's going to be something that's always sat with you that you've always wanted to do. It's like a heart thing, like it's a soul sort of, even if you might be helping people, I like what you do, but I don't feel like it's going to be in the area that you think it's going to be.
Oh, wow.
So I feel like what you've done, like nursing and helping and all that sort of stuff, it won't be like, it'll be something in that, but not physically physically draining. I want to say it's helping people or doing something, but it's not going to be on that physical sort of level. I feel like it's going to be around that. But it's because it's where you sit, where you love to do things, and that's where I feel like you're going to go. And I feel like there's 2 opportunities that you've got coming.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Not a problem, Donna. Thank you so much for calling. And if you like, you can always connect with me on my Facebook page. So thank you, Donna.
Absolutely. And have a wonderful night. God bless you.
You too. Thank you. God bless you. Thank you. All right. I've got Michelle from Baraboo. Sorry, Michelle. I hope I pronounced that right.
Yes, Michelle.
Oh, perfect.
From Baraboo.
Baraboo. Thank you. Sorry, I just saw it. I was like, my producer Dave loves to sound it out for me, so it's easier for me to say it right. Sorry. And my accent probably doesn't sound right either, so I do apologise. Okay, so do you have a question?
I'm concerned about my state of present mind right now and where I need to go into the future. I have certain things and certain ideas in my head, but I want to do the right thing, so I don't. Yeah. Because I'm going through a lot right now.
Okay, you worry about other people. Okay, you worry about connecting.
No,
and
I don't worry about people. No, I've been alone a long time.
Okay.
But I'm just wondering, what is in my future. I don't know what you want me to all tell you.
No, don't tell me too much. That's all right. Let me just look at this for a second, because I know I've got a gentleman coming through who's very strong. And
I've been meditating, and I'm holding my grounding stone to help you.
Yeah. Because I feel like I've got a grandfather or a gentleman, an elderly gentleman coming through who is very strong and very, I want to say he wouldn't say much. He's very much like I feel like he was strict to a point, but he also had a sensitivity around him. I feel like he's quite tall as well, and he's got this sort of slender build. But it's like I want to say the reason why this gentleman's coming through for you is to stand your ground. As much as you sort of give of yourself, you're not standing your ground. And I do want to say there is things happening for you that I want to say you feel, you did advise me, but I want to say you feel like you're stuck because whether or not you're overthinking it, but you're in your head, you sit and meditate, which is great. But I just want to say allowing you to see the other opportunities. Sometimes it's hard to see moving forward, but I just want to make reference to looking at things in a different way will help you bring the clarity through, because I feel even though when we meditate, sometimes the clarity, we do need to speak to someone, because what we get, it's more like a confirmation for us. So if we go and see someone, or you talking to me right now, it's more of a case of you getting a confirmation of what you're already getting, if that makes sense.
Definitely, 100%.
Yeah.
I'm reading books on Ralph Waldo and Emerson, Eckhart Tolle. I've been working on, So
it's like I want to say you're going into a new phase. So we get to a certain point in our learning, in our knowledge, that we just go, hang on a second, I feel stuck. What's going on? So then we go into relearning or reprogramming or understanding the knowledge that we've already received. But it's interesting because I want to say with you, darling, you're a very old soul. And it's like I want to say whatever you're doing now is you're actually going, oh, my God, I knew this. Oh, my God, I knew that. Yet because we are we have a certain programming as we grow older and through childhood and everything, that the doors have always been closed. But when we open them, we realize, oh, my God, I knew this stuff, but it just wasn't the right time in my life to actually see this or hear this or feel this. Because if I would say that what you're getting now, if I spoke to you 15 years ago, you would have gone, nah, don't want to hear it, don't want to see it, don't want to feel it. Whereas now you've gone, okay, now I've done everything I can do to a point. Now I need to refocus and understand of where I'm going. And it's interesting because we always have, I would say, a fear or a lack of, oh, my God, if it's going to happen. Just allow yourself to see the future coming up as a beautiful, bright essence and abundance for you, because I really feel like that's coming through, Michelle, if that makes sense. Interesting, I know, because you're coming up to spring and summer, I feel like there's a little bit of witchy woo around you, or there's some sort of reference to doing little things like mantras and stuff, which if you look at it, there's so many different words for mantras, but there's so many words for spells. Pardon?
What was the word?
Mantras, like little affirmations.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So doing those, you actually start bringing that in. And I do want to say over the last 6 weeks, things have started to change for you. I feel like a lot more things are opening up for you. So work-wise, did you want to know about work, yes?
I am a disabled vet. I would like to work, but it'd have to be a certain place. I don't know where.
Okay. Okay.
I just can't find out where I can go.
Yeah. You're a bit of a healer and a bit of an empath, if that makes sense.
Yes, I am.
Yeah.
I'm definitely an empath.
Yeah. Because I want to say there's a reference to healer.
And I come to the aid of people, and
So you understand when you step with someone, you can give them guidance, or people just come to you for guidance. Because I want to say there's a healing element around you, and I feel like a healing's really coming in for you, in a sense, you being a healer. And this is why I feel like where you're going with all your information, it's interesting that when we have life paths, we think we're going to have this